welcome to Jakarta. Jakarta in Indonesia has hosted the preliminary stage and the second round, and we are now faced with two winner-take-all games, Brazil and Latvia. The winner will go to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Latvia introduced to the arena and their 2,500 traveling fans. I'm Mark Clark, with me Shona Thorman. These fans have been one of the biggest factors in this arena over these first two rounds of the World Cup, and their team has responded tremendously and puts themselves in a position to make the quarterfinal. How good have they been?
Every game, I feel like there's more and more fans, and I think some of these local Indonesians have also adopted this Latvian team because they are so fun to watch. And you know, maybe we're biased because we're here in Jakarta, but absolutely a Cinderella story, especially heading into this tournament. Missing two big-time players for them. You had their captain go down, Dairis Batons, in the first game. He hasn't played since. And they have just, I don't want to say exceeded expectations, because they're playing confident. They're playing like they did when they won those 11 straight games to qualify for the World Cup.
Well, they've really, every single time they've been challenged in this tournament, they have found, as a team, an answer, and individuals have absolutely stepped up. But then you match it against the Brazil lineup that went into the game against Canada, massive underdogs, needing to win to put themselves within a chance of the quarterfinals, and put a game plan on the floor that just gave them a chance, and then their players just executed it tremendously well. Iago's first man out, and he was so fundamental to that win.
He really was. He's been so fundamental to their success throughout this tournament. And heading into this first game, I said this Brazilian team is scary. They had good warm-up preparation games before this tournament. They only lost to Italy and Serbia, who are both possibly playing in the quarterfinals of this year's FIBA Basketball World Cup, and by low numbers, single-digit numbers. So they were already making a little bit of noise, but I have to admit, I think this is one of the best Brazilian teams that I've seen in quite a few years. And every game, different people are stepping up, but the go-to man is Iago Santos, and what a game plan and what an execution that they had against Canada. Big win over Canada on the last game day for that for Brazil, 69-65, and they controlled the tempo. And I think it's something that they're going to have to do again today. Maybe push the tempo a little bit more than we saw against Canada. But you know, as soon as you can control tempo, you play the way that you want to play, and it frustrates teams, and that's what we saw against Canada.
Well, they've been faced with adversity as well. One of their top guys, Nito, went down in the first game. Here's the schedule, and it is two finals, and it's so fitting that Jakarta here, that's hosted these first two rounds of the World Cup, has done such a great job that those two games are literally winner-take-all finals. Canada and Spain sit top of the group, but one of those teams will drop to 2 losses, and they will miss out because one of the Brazil-Latvia teams will have 2 losses, and that will decide which teams progress to the quarterfinals. We'll talk about it more after the national anthems of both countries, starting with Latvia.
We begin with the anthem of Latvia. Thank you. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Brazil.
Well, players, coaches will exchange mementos of this game at mid-court. A lot of respect, as you'd expect. Such a worldwide game now that these guys will know each other very, very well. Third team on the floor, the officials. So the crew chief is Mr. Roberto Vazquez, Alexander Glizic, and Johnny Batista will take charge of this quarterfinal matchup between Latvia and Brazil. Sean, it looks like there's about 12,000 people in the gym. I mean, the crowds have been good, you know, here in Riga and it's in Jakarta, but it looks like there's a suburb of Riga because these Latvian fans are just all over the arena.
They really are. You and I saw some earlier today walking around outside, and I think it's wonderful that they also get to experience this with this Latvian team. As you see the starting lineup there for Latvia.
Well, interesting that Skel gets the start. Since Bertrands went down, they've rotated that spot a little bit, but it's interesting to see that Skel, who has played well, it's not as if there's a set five, as we see Davis Bertrands, and it's not just the fact he has 16 points here, he shoots at a really decent percentage against Spain. It's his leadership as well. He's really absolutely engaged with the team, engaged with the fans, and really does lead. And wow, how many good things can anyone say about Roland Smits? For me, he's become an elite world player during this World Cup.
You said someone needs to step up, especially with Porzingis announcing that he wouldn't be able to play, and boy, has he stepped up. Over 14 points a game. And he does so much more than just score points for Coach Luka Benke. He's everywhere defensively. He's kind of undersized for a five-man, really, but he's, you know, required to guard the other team's five. I think this team is very, very well coached, and that's what makes them dangerous. They also have absolutely nothing to lose, and you can feel them playing with joy every single time they step onto the court.
That's such a good way of putting it. They really do play as a group and love being on the floor together. Here's the Brazilian starting lineup, which is, as soon as Nito went out, De Paulo stepped in. He's really done a great job. Caboclo's been the star, but it's a great lineup.
Yeah, I think it's a great lineup. I think De Paula has done an awesome job, you know, replacing after the first game, and he's been playing some of the most minutes for this Brazilian team. But wow, what a tournament. Caboclo is having 19 points, 13 rebounds, double-double in that big win over Canada. He's really come into his own in this tournament.
Yeah, he's been absolutely tremendous and has played with a lot of control at times as well. As has this man, Iago Santos, 15 and 8, going to Red Star Belgrade in Serbia. I think there was always this, is he just one-dimensional? Well, he showed in the last game, no, he is not.
I mean, he had 4, probably the biggest points in his career to help Gustavo Di Conchi there, the head coach of Brazil, at the end of the game. He put them up 4, and they won because of his 2 takes late in the game. You know what I'm excited for? The matchup of Iago Santos and Artel Zagers from Latvia. I think that's going to be a really, really fun matchup today.
Absolutely. I think both players have raised their stock. You know, it's a crazy phrase in some ways, raising their stock, but both players now are considered elite level guards on a world stage. And that matchup, the other thing that intrigues me, Huertas with his 5th World Cup coming off the bench for Brazil, as is Victor Benici, who's really not fired in the way he can. If those 2 guys play really well, that's going to get that balance of roster much more evened up, because Latvia goes so deep.
There's some last-minute instructions there from Coach Banki. 5th in the world, shooting from 2-point range. And they're actually a really good 3-point shooting team. They just struggled from 3 against Spain. They ended up winning, but they struggled. Going into that game, they were in the 40s. Now they're shooting 38%. That's still a really good percentage from 3-point range.
And it's watching over the tournament. They were really great at the beginning. They've had a bad game. It will even itself out a little bit. But I think Huertas in particular, in the pressure of this game, you know, there's not a level he hasn't played at. If he comes in and really puts in a great stint off the bench, that's really going to help Brazil, because Iago Santos really gives them threat. If he's not on the floor, they'll need Huertas to start pulling some strings for his teammates. Well, both sets of players making their way out. We're moments away. The TISO countdown to tip-off, 1 minute before the first of 2 literal finals. Win, you carry on. Lose, you go home. And this is a journey for Latvia that started, as Shona said, with that 11-1 record in the qualifiers. Pretty much the team that played in the qualifiers. Smits didn't play that often. But no Porzingis, no Strelniks, and now no Avis Bertrands either. 3 of the leading players for Latvia over the last 4, 5, 6, longer in terms of world competition. And let's not forget, a team that didn't qualify for Eurobasket finds themselves on the verge of a World Cup quarterfinal, finds themselves on the verge of really completing a journey that the World Cup qualifiers started. Brazil, as I think I'd agree 100% with Shona, obviously I would agree the best Brazilian team in a while. They've shown that not only in the way that they play, but the way they absorb that adversity of Nito going down hurt. Well, welcome to Jakarta in Indonesia. Brazil and Latvia. Brazil in the yellow uniform. Get underway and have a look at the half court first time up. Mendel looks underneath, gets it back to Iago. Latvia will switch, and probably switch 1 through 5. Iago puts it on the floor, will look to hand it off. DePaolo tries to curl, has it knocked away, recovers. He's gonna have to put the top one up, doesn't get it to go. And Latvia, first possession up, get a 24-second violation.
Great defense, you said it. They were switching early, switching and really kind of trying to close those driving lanes.
Kirks has been absolutely phenomenal for Latvia. Zagars needs a pass. Bertrands moves it on. They're going to go inside. Roland Smits going to work. Has it knocked away. Almost deja vu. Both teams, same type of play. Defense gets a hand in, breaks it up. Mendel. Brazil trying to stretch the floor. Stop, pops at the foul line, is off. And that's a box out. No one in the yellow field uniform got anywhere near the glass. Zagars challenges the defense, backs it out. Skelp moves it on. Zagars will take the ball screen from Smits. Almost a ghost screen in the end. Zagars drops it inside. Smits, ball fake, off the glass, doesn't get it to drop. Kirks goes, he doesn't get it either. And Smits on the offensive glass, and this team just do not know when to stop working. Hands by Bertrands. Interesting move that he started the last 2 games. That's the first 2 games he started. Pushing foul called. And I think we've got the first foul of the game. Kurix picks up his first personal. Iago. Guided by Kurix.
Yeah.
Extra size, deep three. Nothing but string.
What a tournament by Iago Santos. 15 points per game, you saw earlier, 8 assists, but he's shooting the ball incredibly efficiently as well. 44% from three-point range in the tournament.
Zagars penetrate, kicks. Kurix for the mid-range, doesn't get it to go. Mendel with the defensive rebound, will advance it. Looks to be aggressive in the lane, will need a pass. Suarez moves it on, Iago has it. Accio inside, has it turned over. Skell gives it up. Schmitz. They give him space to play. Spins, wheels, deals, and gets the two. Iago just takes it, goes hard. Caboclo can't hang on, but he just recovers it, needs a pass. Paulo recovers, going baseline. And Schmitz will be charged with the personal. Smith's got into foul trouble shown in the last game, and they played the end of the game without him.
And he had 4 fouls, so he went to the bench early in that fourth quarter in their big win against Spain. And we thought coach was going to go back to him, but you know what? The 5 that he had out there, it was working, and I don't think he wanted to change anything up.
Great thing about national team basketball, isn't it? You know, you've got that depth of talent. Caboclo outside, guarded by Smits. Iago gonna switch that. Iago kicks it off. He goes up, doesn't get the 2. Get a 14-second reset. Now for 3 is no good. And as a team, Latvia come down with it. Kurix, Skell thought about it, and different players on this roster would have shot that. Skell knows what his role is. Zagars. Zorix puts it on the floor against the closeout. Tough one on the inside, and will go to the free throw line. It's interesting, you know, Latvia push, shoot the ball, push.
Yep.
This game, there'll be a much more control, or is it just the people who've ended up with the ball?
You know, I think both coaches had an opportunity. They were off yesterday, so I'm sure there was a lot of scouting that went into preparing this game. And we're seeing them play a little bit differently, both teams, and it has to be the scout right now. Obviously, you have Skele in there who, you know, maybe if that was the other Kurix, he might have shot it, but he knows his role right now is to go and defend, shoot when he's really, really open. If not, you got to move the ball. Latvia are so good at using away from the ball situations and getting people open, so I'm not surprised seeing a little bit of patience offensively here.
Well, Rodion's Kurix makes both from the line. And Latvia with a really nice 6-3 start. Iago moves it on. Brazil tried to space it. Suarez with the extra pass. Mendel is going to travel. And I'm always disappointed, if that's the right word, when Suarez doesn't take that open shot, because he is, you know, he shoots the ball really, really efficiently normally. You know, his three-point numbers are really, you know, 64% from out there, or 60% from out there. You've got to back yourself.
You know, I mean, don't forget, there's a lot of time left, there's a lot of game left. Iago Santos, he didn't make a 3 against Canada. He was an 0 for 6 night. Had big takes, he had other big points, another big contribution. Tonight, first opportunity, he shoots it, knocks it down.
Zagars for 3. Cannot go underneath on Zagars. Not this tournament.
Not this tournament, you said it.
Mendel moves it on to Paulo. And Brazil not really attacking their defense. Up goes Iago, doesn't get the drop. It's a little passive for Brazil. They're so good when they can turn the corner. So good when they kick it and attack those closeouts. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit of a hangover from the way they played the game the other day. I think they've got to be a little bit more expansive against this Latvian team. That's the way to defend the inbound pass. To Paulo, puts it on the floor. Backs in, goes to the little turnaround for 2 with the left hand. And he
I like that. Little clear out for De Paula.
Yeah, and he
went to his scoring hands.
Yeah. Scout. Smits deep, has a matchup. That's a great take. It's a super take. The lane, drive lane opened up for Korks. Smits just cleared the lane and they had to guard him. And the problem for every team against this Latvia lineup is you've got to respect the three-point threat. Opens up the middle, and Korks is just, well, we always quote the two-point game where Banky said he was their best player. He just does so many things. Zagars. Bertrand's catches and shoots, a little off balance, but he's not going to hold on to it very long. Santos, Iago moves it on. Suarez is short, great closeout by Bertrands. Quick, got a hand up early, Schell in transition, doesn't like the numbers, as Brazil do a really nice job in transition. Korks again tries to get to the middle, is going to get the foul. Iago picks up the personal.
I think it was the hand check that the referee saw when Korks put the ball on the ground.
Well, that'll be his second foul, and a little bit earlier than Coach De Conchi would have wanted. Five-time World Cup player, one of the greats of European club basketball, and definitely a great of Brazilian basketball. Marcelino Huertas checks in. Zagars. And Brazil are going to switch everything as well. They'll go lob. Smits hangs on. Not a lot of space to throw the ball into. Korks going baseline. Reverse layup is blocked. Suarez just pinned it against the glass, and Brazil are in transition. Suarez goes high-low. Foul on the pass. And you got to say Zagars took one for the team there, because he was just about to be in the wrong part of the poster.
That's a smart foul, though. They have fouls to give. Why not? You never want to give up an easy two-point basket, especially if it is going to be a posterizing basket, because that also fuels teams.
Well, he just got really sealed underneath. There's only ever going to be one outcome. Mendel, little curl, puts the soft one up. Whistle on the play.
Oh, is that going to go against Smits? If it is, it's going to be his second, I believe.
Yeah, that's definitely, and they're going to go to the bench. Grazoulis, who plays as many minutes as anybody else on this team, is going to check in. One of the big minute guys for this Latvian lineup.
He's also started from some games for them as well. I think between him and Rodinius Korks, they both average about the same, leading the team in minutes per game. Yeah. So they're very, very important players. But for me, it's worrisome seeing Smits have to go to the bench with 4:20 left in the first quarter.
Second is good. And Brazil close it to a 9-6. Both teams would have scouted so much, a lot of opportunity to look at all the games that each other have played. Schell looks to penetrate. Now he needs a pass, drops it inside. Grazoulis off the bench just finds a hole. And Schell playing, let's just say, what a role. Understands what he has to do.
Yeah, getting the start today for a reason.
Paula needs a pass, finds one. Back down from the three. Little roll reversal. Suarez is just blocked. Wow, what a block. Korks kicks it. Extra pass. Zagars. Oh, Latvia basketball.
You said it, Latvia basketball. Zagars, he was open for the three. He was patient. What great ball movement and passing. Look at this. Just heads up play. Good thing they had their hands ready to catch the ball.
Every single Latvian touched the ball in transition. 13-6. De Conchi takes the timeout. I don't think they've started badly, Brazil. I would just say they just got to be a little bit more aggressive. Let's take a listen.
Defendido pelo 5, eles estão trocando. Defendido pelo 4, o 4 tá fazendo um show. Mais ou menos o que a gente quer fazer com eles lá. Então, nós precisamos muito do ângulo do bloqueio. Vocês estão bloqueando. O defensor tá aqui. Vocês estão bloqueando aqui, não tá acontecendo nada. Bloqueia aqui no bolso. Bloqueia no bolso, tá certo? Bloqueamos no bolso e pegamos a troca. Esse cara já entra nas costas de vocês pra gente pegar a troca. Olha só, Jorge aqui, ó. Jorge aqui, Léo aqui, Marcelo, chega bloqueando. Bruno bloqueia.
Wow.
Tim, chega atrás. Passamos no Tim.
Brazil
Jorge
down
passou,
there
Léo
at
subiu,
7th place, 44 screens per game.
Não. A hora que a bola virar no Tim, o Jorge vai cortar, para no poste baixo. Léo recebeu, bola pro Jorge no poste baixo.
I mean, why we get a replay of those of the last baskets for Latvia? That screens per game stat is only half the story, isn't it? It's what do you do with those screens? And Spain, that were really high up, Latvia really high up, really get advantage out of those screens, and Yago gets advantage out of those screens. It's like, it's the outcome of those screens that's the important factor. So Brazil, after the timeout, with 3:32 to go in one, just need to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, part of that is down to the fact that Latvia's defense is just exceptional. Suarez will get it back to Huertas. Back to those screens, now he dives, drops it inside, there you go.
That was a great offense coming out of the timeout. And I like what they did. They went inside, and again, you and I have maybe criticized a little bit Brazil. Caboclo, start inside and then come out.
Oh, Brazulis just mistimes the jump, wide open for the alley-oop. Huertas, who looks comfortable, great pass. Mendel, out of the timeout. Brazil have just gone inside, and close it to a 13-10 game. Schell. Great hands. Suarez picks it off. Huertas does the maths, doesn't like the numbers, gets it into the half court.
I think Huertas struggled a little bit in this tournament early. He looked a little bit out of sorts, a little slow, but he's really coming to his game.
Let's just say Caboclo didn't time it. Let's time it.
And you know, I mean, that pass is coming from the man who is second in most assists in FIBA basketball, FIBA World Cup basketball. So he's only behind Ricky Rubio now.
Brazulis with that little push, little Franciscus type push from 8 feet. Little 6-0 run that Brazil had coming out the timeout. Huertas stops, puts it up, knocks it down. And if you just play the pass, he'll take the shot. Huertas just rolling back the years. Zegars looks inside, turns down the pass. Schell attacks it, little floater for two, gets the drop. Well, you said it earlier on, when it's his turn, he will take it. Nice little penetration. Huertas needs a pass. Suarez looks inside. Caboclo off the glass. He is just abusing Latvia underneath the ring at the moment. Gets deep, holds his space.
Since that last time out by Coach De Conche, I think it was, hey, you know what, I don't know Portuguese, but get the ball inside.
Schell for the layup. Well, you know, team basketball is about understanding your role, and Schell has definitely understood that. But Huertas orchestrating for Brazil. Great phase of the game. Puts up the tough runner for two.
You mentioned it before the game. Hey, he's a 5-time World Cup player. He's been in this situation before. And that offensive foul is going to go against Bertans. You know, at some point, yeah, okay, he looked, you know, he didn't look like himself, which we thought was unusual. And then the last couple games, more than just his leadership, you're seeing why he is a 5-time World Cup representative with Brazil.
And it's the point you made, and we've talked a lot about. Yago gets into foul trouble, so someone's got to step up. They've got a 5-time World Cup guy out there who's now playing the best basketball he's played in the tournament. And he just seems happier with this type of game than that, maybe because it's a European type game and he's years and years.
So many years in, especially Spain.
Yeah, I mean, he had his time in the NBA, but he was very experienced by the time he went to the NBA.
Wasn't he the second youngest rookie at 32 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
So he's second oldest rookie.
Needs a pass, again, down low for two. Coach Banky's in that, do I take the timeout? I'm still scoring, but do I take the timeout? Are they gonna count it at the end of the quarter? Clearly gets it away. Nothing but string.
Yeah.
And we have a 22-20 end of quarter. And it is, well, it sounds like the Riga Arena in here at the moment. I mean, I think the referees will take a look, but from the replay, it looks really clearly good to us.
One more. Out of the hands.
Yeah, the baskets count.
Basket count. The ball was released before the time expired.
Well, you heard it, and you saw it, .2 on the clock. Let's take a listen in this in the quarter timeout. We will get a look at the best plays and the stats in a moment. Well, all I can say, Sean, is like, what a start. I mean, where do we start about that start? It was just a great start.
It was a great start, and it was all Latvia really to start the game. I thought they controlled everything. They had some nice passes. They were getting the looks that they wanted inside and around the basket. And then after that timeout, you saw a different Brazil team come out, especially offensively. They were getting better looks. They went inside to their big man. Huertas checked in, and he was very, very efficient for them. He was aggressive, but he was also finding his teammates. If you just see the great pass and the great timing there on the alley-oop pass to the big man, Caboclo. And Latvia, yeah, you know, that big shot to end the quarter, you got to be happy about that, but I'm sure Coach Banky wasn't actually too happy with the way that his team finished that quarter, because they were in control.
Well, there's the courtside app. Just you got the last glimpse of that QR code. Download that and you'll see all the action, all the stats live on demand. Back to live action right now though. Zoric's in the game, Stralton's in the game as Latvia get things going in the early part of the second quarter. Grazulis goes baseline with a hook. Oh! Protected the ball so well. 8 points. Coming off the bench and just exploding. Mendel puts it on the floor. Diaz moves it on, wide open in the corner. Nice pass. If your stats man is...
Does it get counted as a pass?
If the stats man is your friend, that's an assist. Bertrans for three is short. Stralton stays around, lines up his own three, knocks it down.
It's just the confidence that every single one of these Latvian players who checks into the game has. And you know, that has been built over the course of about a year and a half under Banky. And he has confidence in his players, but I also think the players have confidence in each other. It doesn't matter who scores for them. They don't care about individual stats at all. They care about playing well and trying to win.
Well, the foul was already called on Caboclo as he illegally screened. Great response by Latvia. They went one down, 5 up now with the basketball. It's off the glass and one. Wow, you cannot say enough great things. Kresta Zoric, who was great in the win over Spain, he comes off the bench. He's getting everybody in the air and finishing plays. Iago Santos is going to come back. There you go with Santos and Huertas in the backcourt. Huertas has 5 assists.
Yeah. He's far away from Ricky Rubio, but you know, if they can win tonight, he might slowly move up, become closer. I believe he's probably at about 110 assists right now, and Ricky Rubio at 130. So the first and second all-time assist leaders at a FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Huertas. Well, you could almost say, if he does get close to that, Brazil are really deep in the competition. Iago kicks it off, come back here, goes up, right hand, doesn't get the roll. And Bertrand just owned the rebound. Zorix gets it up. Bertrand passes up the 3, they chase him off, a great pass. The ball just did not stick. Timeout Brazil. Brazulis goes to double figures. And that is how you run transition basketball. It does not stick. Extra pass into the hole. Wow. Anyone out there wanting to know how to play the tick game as a team, this is the team to watch.
Well, the last time that Coach DeConte called a timeout, his team responded.
Dá pra entender, não? A 22 é pressionando a bola, não muito alto, mas dentro da linha dos 7 metros é pressionando a bola. Vocês dois na lateral bem agressivos, o Bruno lá embaixo, cumpre as regras, não se desespera. Ah, abriu 10, ah, abriu 8, começa a jogar de qualquer jeito na defesa. Não, calma, tá bom não? Tudo bem? Cumpre as regras da 22 ao extremo e aí nós vamos recuperando o jogo. Só que tenta ser agressivo ao extremo também. Se eu ia ficar só com o braço aqui, a hora que o cara driblar, eu vou tentar dar um tapa na bola. Deu pra entender? Deu pra entender? Aqui nós vamos fazer a 2. A bola vai no Lucas Dias, no poste baixo, ou um de vocês passando. Quem passou, corta. Se você não conseguir jogar um contra um, vem mão a mão o outro. Vem mão a mão, pro Lucas Dias.
Well, Strautins has come off the bench and knocked the 3 down. But for me, as you get the view of Zorix in how Brazulis off the bench, short shoulder, has just been phenomenal.
And there you see the man, Luis Scola. He is a FIBA legend.
And a global ambassador for the World Cup. I mean, he is, hey, he's picked the right day to come to Jakarta. Obviously with his, would love to see another America's team in the latter stages, but he's going to be loving the way Latvia are playing this game. Caboclo reverses the basketball a year ago. Want to run the pick and roll high. Huertas lines up the 3, doesn't get it to drop, just rims it in and out. Latvia in transition again. If you don't stop the ball, they're going to just keep moving it. Bertans moves it on. Wide open. Strautins in the corner. Doesn't get it to go. Iago at speed, in transition, gives it up. Ias for the 3. Knocks it down. Game is full of people coming off the bench making contribution. Ias gets his feet set and really stops, really breaks that scoring drought. Zorix exploits the pick, gives it up. Strautins needs a pass, leans back for a tough 2, and just nothing again but string. Iago. Dias, back-to-back from the 3-point line.
Well, we questioned some of Brazil's big men shooting the 3 a little bit too much, but when you're a player like Dias and it's going down right now, why not?
Why not, yeah. Zorix, Bertrands is long with that 3 and gets caught up with a score in mechanism and goes out of bounds. Well, we always say these are games of runs, but Brazulis is going to step out. Koroks is going to come back in.
And we haven't seen Schmitz, right? Since he had to sub out with his 2 fouls early in the game.
Well, it's now gone to Klaus Chavaz, and
He's been limited.
He has had limited time. Iago to the ring, gets the roll. Lukabanki has seen enough of that run. He takes the timeout. Brazil close to a 4-point margin, and Lukabanki wants to talk it over.
Speed. What else? He just scored a 3. Go full rotation. Okay? And guys, when we are small on the ball, we want to red on the pick and roll to keep it. The same when we saw. We want to keep the ball. We want to keep the ball there. Okay? Okay. Watch out now. No matter man or man or zone. Watch out the full court pressure. We box. Then, hey, Draghi Giro. Next offense, Draghi Giro.
Well, it's Gustavo Conchi has had a big impact. 2 timeouts, done a really nice job. Now it's Lukabanki's turn to try to stop this little Brazil run. Iago Santos, that's when he has the basketball, time that he's in possession of the ball, when he has a touch. And as some of the bigger guards here in terms of bigger points production, he will hold the ball for longer than average because he's doing more with it for Brazil. Here's Latvia, first time out after Lukabanki wanted to have a look at it. Brazil showed a 2-3 zone, and that breaks the rhythm. Zoric's little hesitation, gets it out. Corks steps back for the 3, is long. And that will be a Brazil basketball. That zone just literally stops them in their tracks.
Yeah, you know, I would hesitate a little bit going zone against Latvia, but with this lineup, it's not a bad idea. You have Rodians, yeah, he can shoot the 3, but it's not really his go-to. Chavar's in the game.
Iago will take the ball screen. Rodins will defend the lane. Iago with a floater for 2.
And it's kind of a great example of what we just saw, the Iago stats with time ball in his hands. You know, there he's creating, he's waiting. He's not selfish by any means.
Foul on the drive by Koroks. They're going to say he was passing it off. I can see why they would have said it, but probably going up as we see the replay of Iago. Interested to see if Brazil stayed in the zone. The answer is yes. Koroks, Zorix. Koroks lines up the 3, knocks it down. It's your point, you've got to be active in that zone though if you are going to play it.
And I don't know why Benici, who just checked in, so 2 veterans going in and out for each other for this Brazilian team, why Benici felt like he had to leave Kurek so much to get back to the ball, which was already defended in that zone.
Santos needs a pass, or he's going to force one up. Just about gets it off. Ball scraped the ring, according to the official. They're much closer than Coach Banky, so I think we'll go with the officials. Latvia with the 37-34 advantage. Zorix. Kurks to the ring, had to put it up too hard, great challenge. Kobakio's running hard to the ring, foul by Chavaz right in front of us. And I think that's a 4 year ago, unsportsmanlike, but well, with 4:34 to go in the first, Banky rolls that dice a little bit with Schmitz. His team was doing okay, but he's decided to bring Schmitz back with the 2 fouls. Iago has to switch on to Schmitz, and that's not what Banky, and Schmitz wants help as well. You can see him ask for it. Iago is long. Great hands by Kobakio, doesn't manage to get it to Mendel on a little tip. You could see Roland Smits asking for a little help when he was in that matchup. So Chavaz.
I really think Iago should have taken him off the dribble there and tried to draw a little bit of contact, not settle for the three.
Because Smits is long enough, isn't he, to challenge it, even if he caps him a little. Krista Zorix gets it into Arturs Korks. Smits inside, little pass to Grazulis, who I don't think was expecting that one. Comes up short with the little push. Iago. That's, I think it's going to be a hold by Arturs Korks. He almost rode him a little bit up the lane. Referee obviously didn't like it, calls the foul. It's only the second team foul. And for all the physicality out there, both teams really playing great defense. Iago looks at his options. Benici in the lane as it knocks away, hangs on. Gonna have to put this one up. The tough one, end of the clock, hits nothing. And Zorix has turned his ankle on the advertising board, I think.
He's limping it off.
Smits, Korks, well, doesn't stop him taking and going long with a three. Go back here, what a rebound. Just held his space. Mendel in transition. Now it's stuck, backs out, takes the tough free, is long. Korks to Korks. Moves it on. It's the second side. Grazulis will come high and go for the handoff. Well, they've got numbers here. Zorix for three is good. Overloaded the zone, had 2-on-1 down the side. And Korks just knocks down the three. Well, Korks has, seems to have run off that little ankle problem. You're not going to come out of this game, are you?
No, I mean, the amount of adrenaline that they probably have pumping anyway.
Oh, Iago. Well, they look like they don't want to get after him because he'll break them down, but he's knocking down the three if they give him too much space. Schmidt's little step back two is no good. Iago keeps it alive, will want the ball back. Iago, again, wants to play in that space. Yes, for three. 3 from 3 for the big man. Latvia will take the time, and Lucas Diaz has shot the ball sweetly. We have a new ball game with 1:48 remaining in the first half, as Diaz on that three ties us at 40. Well, we thought we would have a game, and we have got a game. Timeout, Latvia.
Now, if this on, Roddy, you start in this position, okay? We shirt, and you play here. Come on. When the ball arrives in high post or low post, we have to play aggressive, okay? Finish strong at the basket, to enter, to make them collapse, and find open shot. Let's go.
Well, there you saw the shooting statistics for the second quarter already. I think it's actually been Lucas Diaz for Brazil. He's already doubled his tournament average points per game today, 11 points. And that's what it is, right, at these kind of tournaments. Every game, it's typical, especially on teams that are kind of deep with no superstar. Someone else steps up. Maybe it's just a half, maybe it's the second half, maybe it's an entire game. And that's what we've seen from both these teams in this tournament.
Well, 1:48 remains in the first half. We're locked at 40. Brazil changed the shape of that zone. Just lift it a little higher. Grazulis inside, nice pass. They lifted it higher. So Kuric just went underneath, nice pass, easy two.
I like that though, because you know, obviously Coach Benke talked about an offensive set there in the timeout against their zone.
Gias to the corner, Mendel for three is no good. Gias on the glass is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Gias is not just standing there on the three-point line, he is going to work. Coaching-wise then, the Conchi is just riding him now. He's getting extended minutes.
Well, why not? He's deserved the extended minutes. I mean, absolutely, go ahead.
Two for two from the line. Caboclo will step out. Felicio will check in. I mean, Lucas Gias plays his club basketball in Brazil. Zagaz, again, there's a huge hole inside that zone. They settled for the three. And Brazil have an opportunity to lead, which they haven't had since the opening minutes of the game. Mendel off the screen, feet set, is long with a three, had a good look. Zorix and Zagaz at the one and the two. Bertlans for three, got it. There's a little DB in the corner. When he gets his feet on that DB, he's got his name there. Just fills it up from that corner. Huertas. 5 second, 4 second differential between game and possession. Latvia had one foul to give. Brazil on the sideline with 14 seconds to finish this half. Down three with a 14-second reset, which is basically the same as the possession and the time. Zagaz is going to sit. Both coaches making adjustments for this last 14 seconds. Latvia won't want anyone in the game with any foul trouble. Huertas out top. Benici slips, gets it to Huertas, puts up the three, is off. Unfortunate slip for Benici as he came off the screen. But at the end of the first half, well, the game we thought we were going to get, we have got here in Jakarta. Latvia have the lead, 45-42 over Brazil at the half.
Well, you mentioned it. It's been a game of runs so far. Latvia shooting the ball well, 60% from two. So are Brazil, though. I mean, there's a reason why it's only a three-point game, and I think it's very evident in the statistics there. Gias, 13 points. He has been phenomenal for Brazil off the bench. And, you know, same thing, Grazulis not getting the start tonight, as I think they wanted to go more defensive-oriented, switching everywhere for Latvia. But a little bit of a missed opportunity. Brazil tied the game. They had a possession to go up, and then they came down and they left one of the best shooters, best three-point shooters traditionally in this tournament, but also in Europe, in Davis Bertans, open in the corner. And you said it, he's been making a living from that corner in this tournament.
Well, we're going to get a look at those key players that we identified before the game. As you see both teams making their way to that halftime locker room. Well, Iago, 10 points. Roland Smits is time limited by fouls again. Unfortunately, only has the two, but you can see his impact when he's on the floor. So Iago, again, exceptional. And it's just, it was interesting to see him play in the backcourt with Huertas for a large part of the game. Gonna look at these best plays of the second quarter, and why not would you show that three-point shot, but it's the one he missed. But there's the issue with that zone. They changed the shape a little bit. As we get a look at Strautins, who came off the bench and knocked down 2 threes straight away.
Well, I mean, no surprise, Latvia, they're shooting 46% from 3. Heading into this tournament, everyone said, be careful. Latvia are very dangerous. They like to shoot threes. They like to shoot threes early if they're open. And every one of their players who comes in, maybe other than Chavers, shoots the three-point shot very, very efficiently. And a little bit of a risk that Brazil went to in the zone. But when they were in man-to-man, they were switching a lot, and Latvia just passing the ball incredibly well, and they were getting a lot of easy baskets around the key. And, you know, surprisingly, they had to go into a zone. It worked well for quite a few possessions, though. And then, you know, Coach Benke called a timeout. I think they talked about it a little bit, how to attack it, and that's where we saw some shots go down against the zone defense of Brazil for Latvia.
Well, get a look at Gias's 3, and he really was exceptional when he came in. I don't think they've worked a way out to stop Yago when he really gets momentum going. He's a tough ask. But there's no surprises. What's the impressive thing is that both teams have executed their game plan at a really, really high level. Well, what a great first half here in Jakarta. We're going to take a break, get some refreshment. We'll see you for the second half shortly.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Jones down the middle, throws up, and again, the king of South Sudan just went up Juba Airlines and connected with the alley-oop. Went young Gabriel. We're trailing by 12 points. Now trying to hang in the air, and somehow, someway, Shilde to Dow just went coast to coast. That is incredible, coach.
Yeah, beautiful finish here. Dundao giving up so much size.
Kobo is open in the corner. He takes his time, and for good reason, as he sees that shot go in at the buzzer.
Holding on, he'll give it to his buddy. What a knob! Hey, remember the name.
He's going to go to the line to shoot one. He didn't even realize he got hit on the dunk.
Blocks it out, look at the three-pointer. Pulls up in the mid-range, puts it up, and just gets it to drop right at the end of the first half. And you can just hear this crowd slowly get back into this game. What a rejection by AJ Edu.
Cameron loses the handle. Here comes Ahab Amin. Oh, between the legs. What a play! Hands it off. Going through his legs. Zaran flies in. And Ahab Amin, you're on the highlight reel.
Makshuni running. Extra handle. Baltoon in the finish.
Makshuni just beautifully read. Knew that the defense was coming at him. Have a look at it. So he assesses the situation. He sees two of them coming at him, and the no-looker in transition.
Deflected, it goes to Marai. Oh, he gets rejected. Toby Smith-Milner. Where did that come from? It's Mexico. So rare that he misses that badly. through the air, and even his wife raises her eyebrows.
Away in the flush. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Well, welcome back to Jakarta. Latvia making their way back out onto the floor. They have that narrow 45-42 lead over Brazil. You know, we saw those stats shoulder, and you know, Gies has really bailed Brazil out a little bit from the three-point line. He's shot the ball incredibly well. Others haven't really got themselves going. Brazulis, though, with 10 points. Zoric with 4 assists, and Kuric with the 3 rebounds. And the reason that half the time those numbers aren't great or aren't really big is that they contribute across the roster. They just do a tremendous job coming into the game and making contribution. So Brazulis, who has started and has been and is still one of their major minute players, came off that bench and got to double digits. In fact, at the half, Brazulis with really contributions across the stat line, shooting 71% from 2 assists as well. It's just they all chip in across the whole stat line.
Yeah, that's what I said. This team has so much confidence, and and they play well with each other, and they enjoy playing with each other, and they're very, very unselfish. And I think that's every game you see, you know, this Latvian team, they average a lot of, like, there's no superstar. Yeah, there's a few players who score in double figures is what you need, but almost everyone who has played for Latvia has scored in games, and that's unusual to see.
That is at this level, and
yeah.
it's the how they score as well. Scale's a great example. When we were a little bit, well, surprised is not the right word to use, but it's not usual for him to start. He's normally come off the bench. But he started the game, and he only looked to take the shots that were high percentage shots for him.
Yeah.
So he's going to make a good percentage, and he's a facilitator. Diaz with 13 points. He also, as well as like from shooting, has 5 boards. He's come off that bench and just done a huge job for Brazil, and is one of the reasons they're only down 3.
Yeah, he's a big, big reason that they're only down 3. And, you know, I mentioned this Brazilian team, they're not great at shooting three-pointers if you compare them to other teams in this competition. You know, they're 20 out of 32 teams with their three-point percentage. I think they have shooters. Sometimes I think they rely a little bit too much, or they go to their outside shot before even looking inside first, where they have a height advantage against a lot of teams. You know, the games that Caboclos have big numbers, it's because they got him looks inside. It wasn't because he was knocking down threes. And, you know, just Latvia on the other hand, I was just looking to make sure everyone has scored and averages points for Latvia. That is absolutely spectacular, other than Chavars. And, you know, Stroughton's today, for example, 1 point per game going into this. He's already knocked down 2 big threes for them.
He will try to go for the drop-off, okay?
I mean, while they hesitate in that huddle, we made the comment during the game that at times Latvia really couldn't deal with Caboclo on inside. He got deep. They either had to foul him, or he was going to score. As we see Porzingis in the crowd, and he has #1 fans say, and he's just maybe his image, it can't be any bigger in Latvia, but it's even been further enhanced by the way he's come to support the team.
Yeah, you said it. There's the World Cup app. Go ahead and scan that QR code to get all the highlights, news, stats, statistics, comparisons, post-game press conference. I agree with you. I mean, they love Porzingis. The fact that he can't play, but he decided to be committed with this team that he started this journey with, I think it shows you how much these men really, really enjoy being around each other. And you can see that when they play, and that's what's fun to watch.
Okay, back to live action at the start of this second half. Brazil will have the possession. Caboclo extends. And I've lost count of the number of times where I've said things that's around Kirks is outside, getting his hand on a pass, rebounding, just contributes. Inside out. Caboclo for the 3 is good.
Well, you know, I just mentioned I think you got to get him inside, as there's the legend Luis Scola on the TV. But I don't mind that because it was an inside-out action.
Yeah, get a paint touch. Oh, wide open. Koroks saw it, but Skell wasn't really looking for it. So we're locked at 45. De Paula needs a pass. Aklo puts it on the floor, spins back to the middle, tries to create an angle, is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Brazulis will pick up the personal. This is where we love to see Caboclo play, and Brazulis just goes through him a little bit. Brazil, inside the first minute of the second half, have a chance at the first lead of the game. Which they get. Two for two from the line.
And what a tournament. I mean, he's the only player to have scored in double digits every single game for this Brazilian team.
Zagars off the glass for 2. The drive lane just appeared, and he said, I'm going to take that. Protected the ball beautifully. Ties again at 47 apiece. 5 points personal for Zagars. Still intrigued with the switch, the matchup selection for Latvia. They'll switch it. Iago breaks down Grazoulis, far side of the ring, can't get it to drop. And the ball will go back to Latvia. You know, that switching defense just creates different opportunities, different challenges. Zagars again opens up, same play, is fouled and draws the foul on Caboclo.
And I like that. That's only a second foul, so that's okay. But look at the speed. He saw Caboclo coming, protects the ball. You know, maybe he could have finished, probably would have got blocked if he tried to just finish with his right hand. Instead, takes the hit, knowing that, you know what, there's no matter what he does, he's gonna have to hit me, and I'll earn myself a trip to the free throw line. They haven't been to the free throw line often in this game. Neither team, really. 3 of 3 for Latvia and 3 of 4 at the halftime for Brazil.
Zagars goes 2 for 2. Iago will advance the basketball. Yes. Caboclo extends the floor. They hit the second side. Got the stagger for Iago. They're going to call that offensive, and that'll be his 3rd foul. And that's 2 quick ones. Or is that on, yep, on Caboclo.
Well, he might have to come out. I mean, maybe he moved a little bit. I think Kurix did a pretty good job of selling it as well.
But he dipped that shoulder and makes it almost too easy for the official to make that call. Zagars stops, puts up the 3, and knocks it down. Artur Zagars.
Well, it was a quiet first half for him, and I'm sure Coach Banky said you have to be more aggressive.
The Paolo with a throwdown on the Zagars gamble for the steal. And for once, Latvia didn't adjust. Zagars needs a pass. Kurix is the man. Zagars for back-to-back 3s and knocks it down.
How about that? 10 points in this second half, or in this first 2.5 minutes, I should say, for Artur Zagars. And is that another foul going against Caboclo?
No, I think they called a double foul. Caboclo's involved with Grazoulis. And in the space of less than a minute, Caboclo has committed 3 fouls. And he won't be happy about it, but he got drawn into that situation. Suarez is going to check in. Let's take a look. Oh, we're back live. Chance for Latvia to run. Bertrands needs a pass. Super cut. Oh, Latvia. Everybody again touches the basketball. Everybody runs. Everybody gets rewarded. The Conti wants to talk about the double foul, but that's just Latvia playing basketball.
And the captain there absolutely loving it.
Well, before Coach De Conti gets going, everything you said, they just love playing with each other, this Latvian team.
Jogo de novo, Jorge. Dribla, arrasta ele pra dentro. Arrasta, a bola é sua. Não tem ajuda, é ele que te defendeu. Vamos com giro lá, o time vai bloquear e vai rolar. O Lucas Dias está de frente aqui, tá bom? Ó, a gente não pode travar, se não deu a bola foi no Lucas Dias, passe e continua bloqueando. Quem bloqueia vai pra dentro, vocês dois, os dois têm arremesso. Quem bloqueia vai pra dentro, o outro de frente. O que tá dando certo mais no pick and roll é step up, é giro ou polegar, giro e polegar. Faz o bloqueio também da polegar na próxima.
Oh, what a great start. And really, for me, it started with that man. Clearly, someone said, hey, you need to be more aggressive in this second half. And boy, has he come out looking for his shot. But it started with him attacking the basket aggressively, and then that's what opened up the three-point shot. But you just mentioned that's Latvia basketball on their last possession and how much they enjoy playing with each other. But more than anything, they honestly do not care who scores, who's the star of that game.
Well, as a consequence of that, they lead this 57-49. We've got a whistle away from the ball. And I think the referees have decided it's got a little chippy away from the basketball, so they're going to kind of call it tight for the next few minutes, try and control it that way. Bertrand picks up the personal. Iago will take the ball screen, turns the corner in the lane, nice pass. Santos will have to earn both from the free-throw line. And the crazy thing, or the great thing, is that Brazil started this second half so well, took the lead, and it's every time this Latvian team gets challenged, this Latvian team finds a response.
I mean, they're just continuing to make history. Playing in their first ever World Cup, you would not have known it the way that this Latvian team have come into this tournament. They beat Lebanon on the first night, 109-70. Big, big win over France. Took the lead with 37.7 seconds left in that game, 88-86.
Bertrand beats the press, doesn't make the three though. Iago running the other way, opens up the drive lane, blows to the ring, tough little scoop for two. How to manufacture the shot. Zagars is blocked. Just had a little bit too much first step for Gia. Both teams are starting to make this more a little bit open, Sean.
Yeah.
Like, both teams can do it.
I think they're playing a little quicker than they did in the first half.
I mean, both teams want to push. Both teams want to shoot the ball in transition. So Skell will leave the basketball for Kurux to inbound it. Brazil show a 1-2-2 zone at the moment. Skell for three is long. Kurux with a push and knock back of the basketball. Skell, here's Zagars. Little hesitation, gets in the lane. Great find. Grazoulis attacks the closeout. Bertrand's for three. Oh! That's how you know where your better shooter is. Because plenty of people had a shot then.
Plenty of people had a shot. Grazoulis, nice little shot fake, one dribble. I thought he was gonna put it up, and this is what I mean. Grazoulis, that's a good shot for him. He can knock down that little elbow jump shot, but he knew, look, he knew where Davis Bertans was.
It just must be everyone on this team, if you're always gonna get the basketball, there's gonna be a foul on the play. Kurux picks up the personal. Latvia in the penalty. Brazil will go to the free throw line. Wouldn't mind seeing it again, because the referee said he pulled him away. Well, there may have been a foul coming over the back, but he didn't pull him away. So they've warned Luka Banki. See, I'm almost of the opinion, if it had said it came over his back, I might have been okay, but referee's made the call. It's important, absolutely vital that Suarez gets going here. With Quebecle on the bench.
Yeah.
Suarez needs to take on a lot of scoring responsibility.
And I think, unfortunately, he's going to be on the bench for a little while with the 4 fouls, as Kurics obviously had to go to the bench as well. Rodions Kurics for Latvia, because he picked up his 4th foul also.
Smits is in the game for Latvia. Relatively big front line that Latvia have on the floor for them. Skell, who really has stepped into this starting role and just had a great one. Looks inside Smits, wants it, gets it. Zorix somehow keeps it. 7 on the possession. Zorix has to manufacture something here. Skell, got to put it up, takes the last second 3, back of the ring, and super job by Santos on the glass. He brings it. Mendel back in the game, has it. Absolute deafening noise here in Jakarta as Mendel has it. They'll go big on big screen. Mendel to the far side of the ring for 2. Nice option.
Yep.
3-point game.
5 points for Yendel. It's been a quiet tournament for him.
Gies
quiet game.
Done it all. Now he's going to do the bit of fill the book in. And Huertas is going to check in, and what an impact he had in that first half. If he has that type of impact at this stage, it could be great for Brazil. Skell will inbound. Smits will hand it to him. Takes the pick at the front of the screen, lifts it. Zorix turned down the 3. Skell, 10 on the possession. Bertrand puts it up. Oh! Davis Bertrand's doing Davis Bertrand's things.
That was well defended. That's just better offense and a better shot.
That's just thrown out of bounds. Santos trying to make something happen that wasn't really there. He has one of the best point guards in World Cup history out there.
Yeah, give him the ball, make him be the one who creates.
The thing that Latvia do better than almost any team in this World Cup that we've seen is the right guys are doing the right things. Festa Zorix with the basketball and a 6-point lead. Takes the ball screen, steps back, is fouled and 1. And Gies just went through him on the release. And I can't say enough about this backcourt. If it's not Zagars, it's Zorix. And Gies just gets out of control.
Well, a little bit miscommunication if they were switching or not on Zorix there, and how about an opportunity for a 4-point play? I told you if Latvia gets hot from the 3-point line, it's going to become a difficult afternoon of basketball for Brazil.
Marcelino Huertas. There's nothing Huertas hasn't seen in the game of basketball. Needs to have the ball in his hands. Drops it inside. Suarez goes up, doesn't finish the play. Foul on the rebound, and Davis Bertrand will walk the floor to shoot the free throw. And Suarez has just got to play more solid than that. Zorix stepped in there, just put his body on the line. Suarez got to get set, got to finish the play. But Davis Bertrand has an opportunity to give Latvia their biggest lead of the game. Dangerous this last 4 minutes for Brazil. Two from the line, and Bertrand is feeling it.
Well, the biggest lead for Latvia. What a great third quarter, excuse me, for them. 24 points already.
Iago in the backcourt manufactures the step. Mendel for three. Can't get it to go. Grazulis will let it go out of bounds. Brazil just need an extra scorer. Gaboko off the floor. It's
Extra
really
score. I think defensively they need to dig down. They've already allowed 24 points, and we still have over 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the quarter.
Grazulis will lean back for two. And yeah, you know, it was almost guarded. You know, it wasn't really physically guarded at all. Huertas will get the ball screen. Suarez will dive, no pass. Mendel gets away with a quick little walk as he came off the curl, but finishes for two. And they so needed to end that drought. Zorix. Bertrands. Brazulis foul line jump shot is off. Huertas leads the floor. Suarez. Bertrands makes him change it, gets it to the corner, can't get it to go. Suarez goes up, can't finish the play. And fouls on the loose ball.
And this is what I like. You see the captain there trying to call his players over, saying, guys, there's a lot of time left. We don't need to start putting up difficult, unnecessary shots. It's not out of reach yet. We can have a quarter like Latvia had, but we can't give up silly fouls like that. That's a second foul on a defensive, offensive rebound that I think they were both going against Suarez, right?
Yeah.
And you're putting Latvia to the free throw line.
Smits, who's had a quiet offensive game, now has the opportunity to get some rhythm going on the free throw line, makes the first. And goes 2 for 2 from the line. There's a momentum about this Latvian team. One, it's a joy to watch, but Brazil have to be just relentless in their execution, whistle on the play, they'll shoot the throws. And Smits is good. No, it's not. Is it Smits who's been yet? Smits charged with a personal. So De Paolo checks back in for Mendel. Mendel got to find a way to tick the scoreboard over. Benici comes in. He's another option for this Brazilian team in terms of scoring.
Yeah.
Going to take Huertas out. Can't really have Iago, Benici, and Huertas in the game together. Suarez knocks down the first.
Oh, you see there, Huertas talking to the assistant coaches. He's clearly heated and disappointed with the way his team's playing because he's still up there yelling on the bench.
Suarez makes both. Brazil show a little pressure. Smits is the release. 2.5 remains in the third. Zorix has it. Brazil back in the zone again. Lautin's nice pass, high-low. Smits throws it down in traffic. Iago will come off the ball screen. We need a little Iago magic here for Brazil. Drops it inside. Diaz buys the foul. Smart play, will go to the free throw line. Just felt the little reach and made sure it was seen.
Nice high-low action there in the zone.
And you got to say again that they've prepared for that Brazilian zone. They have showed us it a bit in this competition so far, but they've gone high-low and got underneath it 3 or 4 occasions now, and they've got finishes in that situation. 14-point game. Brazil would love to make this single digits by the end of the third. Ito Benici could be Find him off some screens, try and get him some clean looks. Yes, goes 0 for 2. Did not need that. Zorix goes in that high post again. Little runner for 2. And there's just such a hole, just a seam in the middle of that zone. And Grazoulis is just giving a clinic of how to exploit it. Bonici drops it down low and drops it out of bounds.
Unfortunately, sometimes when things aren't going right for one person, it can become contagious on a team, and that's what we are seeing right now from this Brazilian team. And if anything, they just want to try and close out the quarter, not down 20 right now.
Yep. And Banky has got rotation minutes into a lot of people in this third quarter as well. Schmitz lines up the 3. Is short, doesn't get it to go. Felicio with a defensive rebound. Paula pushes. Iago thought about the 3, turned it down. Guarded by Strautins. That's going to be a tough one for Strautins. Help comes, foul called. Iago will go to the free throw line. And in some ways, it's the only way that Brazil are actually scoring at the moment is by going to the free throw line.
Well, they've also missed a couple free throws as well, though, so okay, why not get to the free throw line? Your shots aren't going in. It's a perfect place to work on your form, get some scores with this clock stopped. They still have a minute left. If they can cut into this lead, you know, go in down maybe 12, 14, you would feel good after kind of the quarter, the offensive quarter that Latvia has had.
Well, it's been a game of runs, as you've said. They could get a run going either side of the quarter, they're right back in. The trouble is, this Latvian team are just not making many bad decisions at all. Zorix and Smits will combine. 8 on the possession. Zorix has had it the whole possession. Down the lane, floated for 2.
You talked about the backcourt of Zorix and Zagars. Boy, have they stepped up when the captain went down with his hamstringing injury, Dairis Bertons.
Oh, great rotation by Smits, and Brazil just looking for things that aren't there. Chance to make this an 18 or a 19-point lead going into the fourth. Smits slips, doesn't see it. Strautins takes a tough lean away for 2. Wow. The halfway line shot is no good. And it almost feels like they could take one of the crowd out in that shirt and they'd go in and play well. 63-81. Brazil trail this after 3. Brazil started that quarter exceptionally well, and then after that, Latvia just took over.
They started exceptionally well, but let's not forget that Bruno Caboclo had to go to the bench with about 3 minutes because of a double technical foul, as you saw the statistics there. But what a third quarter. After that 7, you know, at around, as soon as Caboclo went out, to be honest, I thought the tides changed in favor for Latvia. 36 points, excuse me, in that quarter. Their highest quarter at a World Cup. Well, this is their first World Cup, so they're continuing to make history. 36 points for them is the most that they have ever scored in a quarter at a World Cup game. And how about Grazoulis? 16 points for him off the bench, the most for any bench player for Latvia. So what a great decision to bring him off the bench today as well.
You know, we talked about the players making great decisions. Luka Banki's got most of those right too. Now there's still 10 minutes is an enormous amount of time. Brazil, a team that can score quickly. They may have to gamble with Caboclo. There's no point saving him. They're down 18 points. They're going to save him for what? You know, it's no point. Get him in. And I've got to say about that, players do have to learn. It just picks up 2 quick ones. He doesn't need to get tangled up.
Yeah.
It's one of those times he just needs to leave that alone. The second one of those 3 fouls was a little bit, was it a foul, was it not? But that happens. He really could have pulled out of the double foul.
Yeah, you said it, it happens, and you have to know, okay, I have 3 fouls, no matter what, I can't pick up my 4th, even if you do get tangled up a little bit, and really, everything changed as soon as he had to go to the bench.
Well, I mean, you spotted it just before, as we start this, those Latvian have even printed off their flight tickets.
They have, I think it's awesome.
They've got huge poster-sized Jakarta to Manila flight tickets. Kurix, oh, he joins the party. Simple, I'm open, I'm knocking this down. What a start to the 4th for Latvia. Fans are in dreamland at the moment, but long, long time to go. The Paula, baseline, needs a pass, finds one. Benici inside, off the glass, doesn't get it to go. Felicio on the glass for 2.
You know, I mentioned it, unfortunately, everything is just not really going well for Brazil in this second half, and it seems to have been contagious. Felicio getting a couple minutes now, and why not clean up the glass, go inside, bang around a little bit.
8 on the possession. Zorix will take the ball screen. Smith just pops in the corner for 3. Grazulis can't get that to go. Kabuko comes down with the rebound. Yago is going to have to make. It's off for the 3. Kabuko's on the glass. The ball will go back to Brazil. And Yago's got to take that. And Kabuko's got to go hard to the glass, and they keep possession. Stops and scores 1 possession at a time. Zorix has just been phenomenal. He rotates out, just happens to be rotated in with Zagaz. Felicio, Iago, it's Benici on the curl. Comes up the ball screen, tries to find a little space, needs a pass. Drops it inside, and it doesn't drop. Felicio can't get it to go back. He'll have to earn it from the free throw line. And it is one of those nightmare games for you, isn't it? You get into the glass, you're missing little 2-footers. You just have to stay with it.
You have to stay with it, and you know, I think he's on the bench right now, but Leonardo Miendao has not had a great tournament. He's someone who you kind of expected, especially with Nito going down. Okay, he's gonna step up scoring. He has not shot the ball well. I mean, this is a guy who normally shoots high 30s, low 40 percentages from the 3-point range while playing for Brazil. He is 0 for 10 right now, combined with this game and their last game. Even though they won, I mean, it doesn't matter when you win, but those games when you need someone to step up and you need people to step up, and unfortunately it's just not his days here in Jakarta.
But if the country's got to go back to him though, because
he
has to go back to him. Zagaz, it opens up again and he goes to the far side of the ring. That is a finish. Felt the block, went to the far side of the ring, kissed the glass. Iago turns the corner, great switch by Smits. He just flattened him right off. Iago again goes on the dribble. Smits staying down, gets beat this time, no, blocked! From the weak side, Grazulis just appeared. Gonna call it offensive. Kurix is gonna be charged with a clear out foul. No debate from the official, let's take a look. Yeah, you palm of the hand onto the arm of your defender. Makes it a little easier. Well, it doesn't really matter how much, but there's the block. I think both got a piece of it. This is a finish. Oh, that's a finish.
Oh, goodness me.
Well, it's a Brazil timeout. Let's take a listen.
Olha bem o Bruno no poste baixo. Ele tá ficando com cara de 1,80 m lá no corner e a gente querendo jogar 1 contra 1. Nós vamos fazer isso, ó. Bruno primeiro, Cristiano depois, bem simples, tá? Vitor e Jorge aqui aberto. Bruno, bloqueio, corre. Cristiano aberto, Cristiano, Bruno, acabou. É isso que nós vamos jogar. Iago, volta e passa, ou então o Vitor sobe e passa, joga pro Bruno lá, pegar a falta desse cara. Tá bom? Ô, Bruno, se eles não trocarem, você faz de novo, volta, faz de novo. Até eles trocarem, tá, Iago? Trocou, passamos a bola, bem rápido. Tá? Olha só, não entra no desespero. Toma a leitura no ataque. Se desespera aqui na defesa. Aí corre atrás pra caralho. Lá no ataque, toma a leitura. Como tá?
Well, Zagar's coming back out onto the floor after the Brazil timeout. So here's the, you see him lead. Oh, interesting action. When you're on four.
And those are the kind of actions like Caboclo, you gotta be careful. If the referee had saw that, might have been a foul. That would have been his fifth.
Yeah. No need. Absolutely zero need. Caboclo, they rotate. Stradins pushes him out of bounds. And it's not really, their issue is they're struggling at the offensive end. But down the defensive end, they just can't stop Latvia. 21 points they had in the third quarter, Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. You know, okay, someone needs to step up, they need to score. Right now, all it was defense. They gave up way too many open looks and easy looks for Latvia. You got to get a hand up. They're shooters.
Oh, blocked again, Grazulis. Blocks Felicio. Back-to-back ring protection. They're back man-to-man, Brazil, and I think they're better in man-to-man. Zagars, Grazulis for three. Oh, it's a clinic of how to move and share and make decisions. Iago gets his feet set but passes it up. The Paula down the lane for two, blows it. Every shot at the moment for Brazil is a tough one. Zagars is fouled. It's going to sound crazy, but it almost looks, the way that Latvia rotate and play defense, it almost looks like they're 6 on 5 out there. No one gets it. Every penetration and help, every shot is challenged.
I mean, just on the other defensive play, yeah, it was a foul, but you had a small and Caboclo. They had to throw the ball up because they were kind of fronting the situation. As soon as the ball was thrown up, that low side eye help came, who was a big man, and then they rotated off.
Yep.
Before Caboclo could even do anything with the ball.
Yep. Schmitz goes to work, spins to the baseline for two. And he'll know that he's not going to be blocked on that with the matchup with Caboclo on 4. Iago's got to take a little bit of responsibility here. No one looks like they're going to make or want to take something from the perimeter, and there's just no space to play, but great finish. And that's what he gives them.
Yeah.
Caboclo with the two, in traffic. Zagars needs a pass. Schmitz gonna put it up. Is long.
Shouldn't have hesitated. I thought he should have just caught it and shot.
Get the stop, need the score. Santos for three is good. And Luka Banki says, back-to-back buckets, that's too many. Let's talk about it. Let's not let them get any rhythm. He still leads us by 19, but he's gonna make sure he does not let the Brazilian lineup get any momentum. Santos, catch, shoot, make, timeout, Latvia.
You got the small guy, okay? Adjust the matchup. Cruti Stevie, we need a good brush to enter. Who's guarded by the big guy? Set the brush and make a pop, okay? If we don't see the pass to the 5, we go to the gun and we slow down the beat on the ball screen. With the 99, yes? 99 or 50? Or 1? I'll tell you. Like this.
Well, there's that flight. There's going to be 2,500 people trying to board a plane on that single flight pass.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they're starting to look for charter flights, as 2,500 Latvians are calling their bosses and saying, hey, by the way, I won't be back at work next week if it continues like this, but we still have 6 minutes and 11 seconds, so you don't want to start booking too early.
They don't need to call the bus is here. Zagars is fouled, and you just can't give easy options away. Iago looks like confused by the call, but Skell back in the game. Zorik's back in the game. Zagars, Smits. Oh, little give and go out of bounds. Wide open in the corner. Grazoulis is good.
I cannot say enough about Grazoulis and his game that he has played for Latvia today.
Iago finds a little space, is blocked. Skell in transition, doesn't like the option. Zorix penetrates, goes back to Skell. Don't like it, reverse it. Grazoulis, still 14 on the clock. Zagars shakes, bakes, finds the open man. Zorix, Zagars for three. Is off. Yes with a rebound, Iago. And Latvia just don't stop. They're back in transition. Super transition defense. Kaboko for three. Needs it. Can't get it to drop. Everybody's on the floor. Zagars has it. He'll wait. Jim is now just rocking. Zagars, that almost went in.
I mean, there's not a lot that Latvia can't do right now offensively. They are really making it seem simple. And when you think about this Brazilian team shut down Canada, who I think is one of the most dangerous offensive teams when they want to be. I really think the game plan was great that Brazil put in. They slowed down Canada, only let them score 65 points. Canada going into that game was 108. If they can shut down Canada, I know it's a completely different style of game, especially offensively. I think they've made it way too easily, and they're letting shooters shoot.
93-72, Huertas is in the game, and I think that's the last throw of the dice, almost. Kaboko's in the game, he's gonna have to stay for as long as he can. But I like you with that, Mendel's gotta come back. You know, Santos has played well. Gias has excelled himself. Holding foul. That's just IQ, right? It's like, I see an option, I'm just gonna throw it there.
I think this also shows how comfortable and how used to these guys are playing with each other as well. A lot of them played, you know, a lot of minutes. And a lot of qualification games.
Yep.
The core, you know.
Yep.
And I think that is definitely paying off for this Latvian team.
Well, Brazil in the penalty. Another mid-court foul. Zagars on the free throw line. Just wants to keep turning the screw that is now being turned incredibly tightly. And you look on the Brazilian bench, and the belief is just draining out of a team that's had a great run in this World Cup. It's not over, but it's a great run and a great win against Canada. You need to remember how good they were at the end of that game.
I think, you know, if Brazil ends up losing here today, they have more positives than negatives to talk about after this summer. And I really, you know, personally, I think they've exceeded expectations a little bit. I'm sure they don't feel that way and they won't feel that way, but I think it's a very, very good learning experience for some very young guys also on this Brazilian team who are going to be around for a long time to come. Santos, Yagos.
Dorix goes down to Grazoulis. Dorix back to Grazoulis for that little push. And DeConchi takes his last time out. He's down 26 points, and it feels like he's down It's just a huge margin with there's still 4:20 to go. They have scored quickly in this World Cup. They're just going to have to run and put it up early, but they need stops. And the one thing they don't look like they're going to get is a stop.
Dominamos a bola, vamos devagar para o ataque, movimentamos bem a bola, finalizamos nos 10 últimos segundos. Ok, não? Ok? Nós vamos com um saldo com a outra chave, dependendo dos resultados. Tá entendido isso? Então com calma. Outra coisa, nós já estouramos falta. Nós não podemos mais dar falta besta e botar eles no lance livre. Aqui nós vamos 7 na defesa, 7. Quem tiver
well, we talked about it.
Fica por trás. E a gente joga a zona com a bola.
I just don't think.
Evita, não deixa o high-low, evita o pivô atrás de vocês, entre você e a cesta. Fica você entre o pivô e a cesta quando trocar. Tudo bem? E sem falta besta.
You can successfully beat a team when you allow them to shoot over 50% from the three-point range. A team that puts up a lot of three-point shots as well. It's just, it becomes way too difficult. And how about that? I mean, we saw Artur's Zagars the other day with 22 points in that big win over France. Now Grazoulis off the bench for Latvia with the most points ever scored by a Latvian player. I love it.
Huertas will move it on, gets it back and has a look at his options. Whistle on the play. I think it was a down low here. Zorix is going to be charged with the hold away from the basketball. I didn't see at all how well, the referee's giving him a warning for flopping.
And I think maybe a warning to Caboclo as well, no?
I don't think they've warned Caboclo. They definitely said they think he just flopped.
I mean, I think that's a good. You've seen Kurix. We've seen Kurix play some big minutes for Latvia. He is a lot stronger than that.
Yeah. And we know how strong Caboclo is. Yeah. And if that's what he can do, he's amazingly strong. On the inside for 2 is good, and Mendel finally back in the game, gets the 2. 4 minutes. They've got to try to get stops here. Skell, another Latvian. Every Latvian today has just been exceptional. I can't think of any player that hasn't made a contribution. Skell on a clear out, can't get it to go. Woko gets it to Huertas, he pushes. Chelino gets it inside. Caboclo traveled. Definitely shuffled his feet.
Shuffled his feet on that little shot fake. He saw the help side come. Almost got the dribble down, but just not quite in time.
And the frustration. Skell now takes the ball. Zorix just having some time away from it. 10 on the possession. Latvia are just time and possession and managing this game to its conclusion. Zorix turns it over on a 24 violation. And the time just ebbs away from Brazil. Santos, Suarez, Huertas. They've got to go quicker. Foul on the play, and Bertans is going to send them to the line, which he will not be happy with. But down to 7 seconds on the possession.
Right now, it's using as much clock as you can on the offensive end if you're Latvia, while still getting a good look at the basket. You're not going to give up a really open shot, obviously. And then on the other end, you know, nothing easy. If Brazil have to use the clock, that's an advantage to you. Yeah, a little bit disappointing. And you saw Bertans look up and say, oh man, I didn't need to foul them. Just force them into a tough shot.
Yeah. And there's a little bit too, there's too many things that are happening around Caboclo at the moment. Every time there's something happening, it's around a little bit of chippy going on between him and various Latvian players, and that's all his frustration. And in some ways, maybe the Conchi might want to have a little conversation. And they're in early, but the free throw is good, so no issue. Skell will advance it. Zorix. Brazulis. And they're just going to enjoy this last 2.5 minutes. Zorix steps back, tough three is off. Latvia will control and get a new 14. And it's almost as though Brazil, well, not almost. Brazil appear to have accepted this one. Zorix with a kick. Bertans throws up a hopeful shot, should we say. And we got 2 minutes. And I don't think Latvia are going to want to finish this messily. Inside, Caboclo is blocked, is fouled, and Bertans acknowledges the foul. I don't think he needs to get excited when he's up 23 points with 1:57 remaining.
Yeah.
And Brazulis is getting an absolute standing ovation from the Latvian fans behind that bench.
I don't think they've sat down this entire game,
no.
But you said it, they're still giving him an ovation as he walks to the bench, and he so deserves that.
Two from two from the line. Zorix. Bertans goes back door and was open, missed him. Now gets it back, puts it up. Oh. Bertans.
I mean, I'm not sure if flight tickets become cheaper with the more points Latvia scores. I really believe that at least the city of Riga is going to be closed down next week.
If they're not here, they're going to be glued to a TV set. Zorix for three is off. Defensive rebound, Suarez. And Santos will advance it. Just over a minute remaining. Mendel off the glass, doesn't get it. And that sums up his game almost.
Yeah.
Santos 4-3 is no good. And Bertans with the rebound. And they are going on a trip. They are going to get on a plane and go to Manila. And compete is the operative word. Off the glass, don't get it to drop, but Sterlings can't get the rebound.
Now what a second half by this Latvian team. That 36 points in the third quarter, I think just deflated Brazil more than anything.
That and the issues with Caboclo's foul trouble.
Yeah.
Those two things, and they were in it, and then it was gone. Caboclo on the inside with a throwdown. 30 seconds. They're going to have to shoot it. Skell. Korix for three is good. .104 to 81. Marcelino Huertas with a three. Would have been great if he could have made it. Caboclo is fouled with 4.4 on the clock. He'll go to the free throw line. And while we've got a moment, this is the last time Marcelino Huertas plays in a World Cup. He won't be happy with the result.
No, he won't, but he has to be able to look back on his career and also remember he's in a category almost on his own. 5 World Cups, 2nd leading assist man at a FIBA Basketball World Cup. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the best Brazilian players ever. And yeah, this will sting right now, but it's been a rebuilding year for Brazil for a few years now, and I think they've had a good tournament, and they have a lot more things, positives than negatives.
Well, listen to the noise here in Jakarta. Latvia with a huge 104-84 win. No one happier than Christoph Porzingis. Noise in the arena. Every Latvian fan on their feet. Every Latvian fan thinking of how can I get to Manila. They win this 104-84 and advance to the quarterfinals of the Basketball World Cup. And they were just exceptional. Super run by Brazil, gave themselves a chance to get to the quarterfinal. But that second half, everything that is good about Luka Banchi and his national team was summed up in that second half. They defended, they passed the ball, they shot the ball, they shared it. And that's an incredibly proud coach of an incredibly talented basketball team. Congratulations to Latvia. They are going to the quarterfinals. Porzingis in there, Strelnik's in there. Darius Bertrand's in there. Anyone that's got the walking wounded are there. Those pitches will be all around the world, but in Riga right now, in Latvia right now, it may be in the morning, but they will be celebrating. It'll be a party time there, but they'll be expecting more parties next week. This team could be a real competitor in the quarterfinals.
I don't think Latvia minds. Those who are still at home, there's not many mind that they're celebrating early in the morning. It's a Sunday, and they have a lot to celebrate as Latvia have booked their ticket. As you see the statistics there, an excellent performance offensively, especially in that third quarter. I mean, from the three-point range, they shot 48%. They made 16 three-pointers. They shared the ball. People stepped up when they needed to. And it really does not matter for this team. That man, Brazulis, was superb off the bench. And Luka Banchi decided not to start him. And I don't know the reason, but whatever the reason was, it clearly worked out because he had the best game of his career here in the most important game. They knew they needed to win, and there you see Luka Banchi getting his plane ticket from the fans, and he is smiling, and he said from the beginning that he is touched by all these fans that have come out and supported his team. And it's a moment that he says, you know, you share with your players, your coaching staff, your family, and then the fans.
Well, we're going to leave these pictures in a moment to get the highlights, and there were so many highlights for them in that second half, in particular in that third quarter. And this is just going to be a joy to watch because their sharing of the ball is what they do. Absolutely tremendous job. Every single person in a Latvian uniform shared it, stroked the shot. They're enjoying every moment they're entitled to. Perfect qualification, only losing the one game, and it shows you what you can build on if you get that momentum out of those qualifiers.
And just the confidence that every single one of these players has, and also the confidence that the coaching staff has in the players. It has been an absolute joy to watch Latvia and to continue to watch Latvia. They're one of very few teams who are playing in their debutante FIBA World Cup who will be moving on to a quarterfinals. And really, the Cinderella story will continue for this Latvian team.
Yeah, as we've said, whoever they cross over with, whichever quarterfinal they find themselves in, and we won't know that until who wins the Spain and Canada game. There are going to be teams that hope they don't play them now because this team is on as big a roll as anybody. The way they share it and the way they score, there isn't a team in this World Cup who's going to be comfortable trying to guard them. And I'm not sure how much or how well people can shut them down. They're well coached, well prepared, and they now have, as you say, it's a Cinderella story. There's momentum behind them. And it's just, the ball never sticks. Everybody touches the ball. The last 5 minutes of that game, you can forget them from a statistics purpose because the game was over.
It's almost a perfect team to watch if you like nice basketball that doesn't rely on a superstar, and that's what we're seeing with this Latvian team. And it's been such a joy to experience these fans as well, and I hope and I believe that they will all be flying out to Manila as well.
Well, there's a picture, super picture of the coaching staff. We're going to get a look at the standings before the final game in this group in a moment, and we'll explain to you what the implication of that standing is. Time to celebrate for Latvia. Time to prepare is later tonight and tomorrow, and then it's quarter-final time. Well, here are the standings of the group. Latvia sit there with a 4-1 record. Whether they stay there will depend on which team wins, because they have the head-to-head over Spain, but Canada have the head-to-head over them. We'll be back for that game later, but for now, congratulations Latvia, and we will see you later.
Being here. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Hadirin sekalian, usai sudah pertandingan pertama